That's great. So you are a full-time student, you are doing real estate investing, and you have a family. So that is like, I don't know how you find the time in the day. Can you share with me kind of like how you got your start in real estate? Is that a new thing you added?
Sure, yeah. So I started about 3 months ago. So towards the end of 2018, I just kind of realized that I wanted to get into something new.
Yeah.
I wasn't super happy with my current job. I was a sales rep for T-Mobile. I've been there for 4 years. And so I bought somebody's program. It wasn't the TTP program, but it kind of set me up for success and got me on the path. And then I started watching Brent on YouTube a ton, and then, his experience with DealMachine and you guys going out. And so I was like,
right.
I tried bandit signs. I tried a couple different marketing things that were working, but it was super slow and not as productive. I wanted to be proactive with it and really get after it. So that's why I decided to download the app and get after it.
That's awesome. And that's worked out well for you, I take it, since we're on the phone now talking about a deal.
100%, man, 100%. I was super, super stoked. So I added, I think, 150 properties on my first list. And it was awesome. My first 50 calls, I got, I think, like 3 to 4 warm to hot leads. And then I ended up closing one of those, and I still have a couple of those in my pipeline. The rest of the list wasn't as hot, but it got me super stoked for going forward. And then I just added another 150 properties. So I'm excited.
That's great.
Yeah.
Tell me about the deal.
So it's actually a pretty crazy deal. I had to get pretty creative with it. It's my first deal, but it was a duplex. I found the property. I called the owner.
Yeah.
The absentee owner. So they live out of state.
Mm-hmm.
And they bought the house kind of at the height of the market about 12, 13 years ago. And so
okay.
It was kind of a pain for him. He has tenants in there, and was just like, hey, if you can just pay off my mortgage, like, I'm cool, And so I was like, whoa, this is like the golden deal, man. Like, he wants to, sell fast, and, wanted to get it all done. And so I was like, this is great. And then the ARV on it was like, as a duplex, like 250, 260, and he was asking like 180. And I was like, man, I could make like, a really good spread on this deal. Yeah. And then after digging a little bit on it, he's got, there was a couple of issues. So he was renting as a duplex. It wasn't a legal duplex though. And so that dropped the value a little bit. And then he had long-term tenants that had leases for like a year and a half each.
Wow.
So I had to get super, super creative to close the deal. So I had to work out a tenant termination contract and basically pay them a chunk of my profit at closing, which I was fine with, but it did eat into my profit. So.
Wow. So how much equity did you have in the property?
I'm not sure, to be honest. It was, so we ended up closing. He got 180 to just pay off his mortgage. That's
okay.
Not what he had left on it. So he just wanted to get rid of it, to be honest.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, man. That's great. It's just easy whenever they need to sell. In my experience, there's a lot of people who, you can tell right away, like they're just trying to get my highest offer to see what their house is worth. I'm sure I could close more deals if I was, more aggressive, but I just feel like the ones that I've done have just been so easy. They just really needed help. And so it just kind of like takes the stress out of it when you realize like, hey, they just like really need help.
100%. I think, and that's kind of the difference. I feel like the people that are really motivated,
mm-hmm.
Those ones are just so, and this guy was so awesome. Like I said, this was my first deal, and to have to jump through all these different hoops. And then my cash buyer didn't speak English. Okay. And he was working with a real estate agent, and so it was just like they had never done like a purchase agreement and assignment fee and stuff like that before. And so I had to kind of jump through all these different hurdles, but it was awesome because I learned so much on my first deal. Yeah. Just doing this and realizing like just got to get as much information as possible from the get-go to close it and to make it as easy as possible. So.
Okay, so when you got this deal, did you already have buyers lined up, or how did you end up selling the property?
Yeah, because I had been working at this for about 2.5 months. So I'd been just accumulating, more and more cash buyers. I think I have like 40 cash buyers now, which is awesome. And so it wasn't too hard to find cash buyers, but like I said, with the tenant issue, that kind of, that kind of was a turnoff for a lot of my cash buyers. So
gotcha.
I had to work that out. But the tenants are leaving in a month, in 30 days from now. So it's kind of crazy how I got it to work out, but we made it happen. So
how did you end up finding and building your list of cash buyers? That's great that you front loaded the work. You already had that list before you found a property.
Yeah. And the program that I had bought was from a guy in Wisconsin and one of my mentors, and he's great. And so he kind of makes you do it that way, where you front load your cash buyers. And so posting, out here it's KSL ads, and then even through my bandit signs, I got a ton of cash buyers. I didn't get as many deals as I did from, or leads from my than I did from my DealMachine list, but a lot of them came from bandit signs and whatnot. So
what do your bandit signs say?
Just we buy houses for cash and my business phone number. So
and then people will call that saying like they want to buy homes. That's
right. So there's a lot of cash investors luckily out here in Utah. It's a really hot market. And so there's a lot of people out here right now.
Okay. And then when you've got that deal, like, do you call or text all those buyers, or do you throw them on an email list? How do you handle that?
Yeah, so there's definitely probably a handful that I know are super serious and I have really good relationship with. I've gone out to lunch with them or called them, talked to them multiple times. And so I reached out to them first, and some of them expressed interest. And then after that, I did do like an email blast for the rest of them, just to close it as soon as possible, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So that was your first one, right?
That was my first one. And
what was
go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. What was the wholesale fee on it?
So I made 10 on it, but I don't know how it works in other states, but tenants have like all the rights, even if the property is sold. And so they have to sign a termination contract. Otherwise they can just stay there.
Okay.
So I really had to negotiate with them. They wanted on each side, they wanted $3,000 each at closing, which is like $6,000.
Oh my gosh.
I'd offered them like $1,000, and I was just like, you know what? Like I can meet you in the middle, just because in my head, I'm like, this is my first deal. I want to get it done. And so I paid them each $2,000. So I walked away with flat $6,000.
Oh my gosh. That's insane.
So it's still good. It's not, it's not what I wanted, but obviously I wanted to close this deal and get it done. So.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And it looks like you spent a grand total of $114 on DealMachine.
Yeah. Not too bad. So I spent some money there. I mean, I've done a little bit of direct mail. I've done, a couple $100 in bandit signs. So overall, yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth it. I absolutely love it. It makes things so easy. And it's funny because I've gotten like 2-3 of my friends involved in wholesaling out here in other states, and I've had them download DealMachine and they love it too. So
that's great. That's a 5,000% return.
I know, it's insane. And I plan on really following kind of the TTP program. I want to ultimately get a cold caller and get that going stuff too.
100%.
Because I think that's just a proactive way of doing it. I love these other marketing streams and different things you can do, but cold calling, a lot of the people I even call are sitting on a stack of mailers, and they're like, yeah, I've gotten 20 of these in the last year, but thanks for calling me, and you can keep my info and call me back or something. So it's like you beat everybody to the punch by cold calling.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to use DealMachine going forward? I know you said you already added a bunch more properties, which is great.
Yeah. So I skip trace all my properties too. I mean, some of them I'll do on site. I mean, the nice thing is you guys have been doing some great updates with it, and just making it easier for the user. So as far as going forward, like just doing 150 to 200 properties a pop. I mean, I can get in my area, I can get 150 properties usually in a day in like 2 to 3 hours, just because there's a lot of distressed homes where I'm at. So it's pretty dope. And then I can list within a couple days too, and then just keep it moving. So
cool.
It's a lot of hustle in the front end, but I can't wait to be able to, like I said, get a cold caller and just feed my cold caller some of these hot lists, so
yeah. Well, awesome, Spencer. Thanks so much for sharing that. And it's great to hear that you've found a lot of value from the DealMachine app. And I'm excited about sharing this video, if you're okay with that, on our YouTube channel, so that others can see how you've used DealMachine to get your first deal.
100%, man. I mean, like I said, I'm a big advocate for DealMachine. I think it works great. No real complaints. It just makes finding properties so much easier. I will say, if I can export the list via date, that would be a little bit easier. So I don't know if you guys can tweak that, but other than that, like it's awesome. I wouldn't use anything else. You know what I mean? So
yeah, well, definitely appreciate that. And we're always, working dedicated 8 people to making this thing better every day. So
sure,
it should be the best and continue to be the best thing available for you to use.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks so much for reaching out, and I'm actually gonna go and do some cold calling right now. So I'm super stoked. Hopefully, I can get some hot leads today. I'm excited.
Awesome. I wanted to also say thanks for that feature request to export the deals by date, because right now I know they all export at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's actually a common feature that people request, so we're prioritizing it.
Oh,
and
nice.
There's this website where people submit these ideas and they get ranked. And if you want, I can tell you. And anybody listening, can go there as well and check out what's there. But it's I'll text it to you. You don't have to write it down, but it's dealmachine.featureupvote.com. And so that's where you can submit the requests and rank things that are already there too.
Yeah, and I will say one tip for anybody that does use DealMachine: if you plan on doing cold calling and skip tracing it, one thing I found, I used to always take pictures with it, which is really nice if you plan on doing like direct mail and stuff like that. It really adds that personal touch. But if you are just planning on cold calling, I will say it does save a ton of time if you just like add the properties and then just throw them through the skip tracing, because you can always look them up on Zillow or Google Maps or whatnot. So I will say that it will save you a ton of time if you kind of skip that step, if you're just planning on doing the calls. So
yeah, totally right. It's there if you need it, and you can do it as like a second or third part of the step after the property.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Spencer, thank you so much for sharing that, man, and congratulations again. I can't wait to do another call with you when you do your next deal.
Yeah, 100%, man. And if anybody ever wants to reach out to me about my experience with DealMachine or wholesaling in general, you guys can find me on Instagram. We have a fitness/entrepreneur page called, it's at the official Fit Fam. So if you guys want to reach out to me, send me a message, feel free to. Love to talk to you guys. I love connecting with people. So excited for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and also we're going to send you a free DealMachine swag so you can get a hat. I'll send you
dope.
Yeah, you can go on the DealMachine swag store and pick out anything you want for free. And if you haven't already, please leave us a review on the App Store. That helps us so much. And just thanks again, Spencer. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, David. Everyone will kill it today. Take it.
Sounds good. Have a good day.